Okay, Paul. This is very important question for me because I live in an environment with clients where there's millions of tools out there, and so the question is when and why do we need yet another tool?
You don't often. And I know we're very aligned on this as well, right? I mean, many of our customers they've spent hundreds of thousands, millions of pounds, euros, dollars on lots of expensive tools. And quite often you don't need another tool. You need to make these tools talk to each other. You might need to complement and also integrate some form of AI capability within your existing tool set. But I think fundamentally, I mean, if you look at it from a user's perspective as well, people are sick of, we don't want another tool, we don't want another portal. We just want to integrate into what we've had. And I mean, if we go back to joiners, movers, and leavers and user onboarding, people want to onboard from a HR system through an ITSM system and then deliver an outcome. They don't want yet another portal just to do one task or a portion of a task. So, I mean, our goal is be invisible, be integrated, and really, I mean, look at your tools as part of the assessment process and reuse existing tools where you possibly can. And if you can't, if you do need something else, try and integrate that into your existing ecosystem. Don't just, I mean, I think you used a machine gun to crack a nut analogy before, and it's that case with a tool, right? I mean, get something in that fixes the problem, but hopefully integrates holistically with your overall ecosystem.
Yeah, yeah. So I happen to work in many different environments, and one thing that is extremely consistent across all the environment is number one, they have too many tools. So it's actually the goal should be the opposite. Instead of adding more, the goal is to try to have less. So the tool simplification programs are typically a huge headache for, and the bigger the company, the bigger the headache, for sure. So that's definitely something that we see happening a lot. And then the core situation that I see is tools are underutilized and under optimized. So the mistake is, if I take any platform, whether it is a ticketing system, whether it is an ERP system, people have a tendency to try to build on top of that, so bring yet another tool on top of it, while the right approach, at least that's what I consider, is to maximize the platform itself, is to optimize the platform itself. You would be amazed how often some modules that are actually paid for are not utilized or are not correctly maximized. So the first thing to do here is, instead of trying to push a solution that will obviously include yet another tool, is to try to understand the customer environment and to try to see how this customer environment, how those existing tools, how those existing core platform can be maximized. And again, whether you are in the IT space, in the HR space, in the finance space, whatever is the platform that you are using, this good optimization of the platform is typically going to bring a lot of value immediately. And by the way, maximize your already made investment. So if you are spending a huge amount of money on the large platform, the last thing you want is to spend more money on something else. What you want is to maximize that investment that you have already made. And unfortunately, we see quite a bit of under optimized, under maximized platform out there.
Yeah, I mean, I could count, well, I couldn't count on two hands the amount of times that people have got licenses for ITSM systems and other tools that they're just not using. And I mean,
Yes.
it's unfortunate. So I think we're pretty aligned on that, OJ.
Yeah, and it's also important to understand that the skill set that is required to run, manage, and implement a given platform is different from the skill set that is required to optimize and automate that platform. And you know, if you're asking an implementation team to implement, run and maintain a certain platform, they will do that very well, but maybe they are not going to be having the right skills, the right mindset to look for automation, to look for optimization. So very often, at least that's my experience, the team that are focusing on running and maintaining a platform and the team focusing on optimizing and automating the platform are two different teams.
Cool. Well, I think that pretty much brings us to the end. So I think, I mean, it's probably worth us both just doing a quick recap. And I mean, for me, with automation, with AI, please think about your use cases, think about your outcomes, think about doing an assessment where you've got data-driven metrics, finance metrics to show that it is worthwhile or the particular use case is worthwhile, and think about the tooling. Don't spend money unnecessarily on tools that you don't need. But yeah, everything from me, think it needs to be outcome based and assessment and business case driven. I don't know if you get anything to add to that, OJ.
No, I keep saying all the time, you know, outcome is king, and this is the mindset here that people need to have, right? And I know, and some people will be sad that you know, you are not allowed to fall in love with the technology, right? And I know this is sometimes very tempting for people, but this is a very important guideline, and if you can respect that, most of your project will be successful.